Guaranteed. You're gonna see purple. Boom. Wow.
A military wife has now pleaded guilty to poisoning her husband's coffee with bleach, all in a calculated attempt to cash in on his life insurance policy.
Whatever's in there, there's a lot of it.
Before she was charged, her husband made several videos pointing out something seriously wrong with his coffee maker. This is Melody Feliciano Johnson, who admitted to repeatedly poisoning her husband by pouring a liquid he believed was bleach into his coffee maker.
Melody intended to harm Robbie by introducing a trace amount of bleach, which is a chemical compound, into the water reservoir of his coffee maker, which Robbie then later intended to drink. And that happened here in Pima County, excuse me. And as to count 3, the same thing happened on July 18th here in Pima County.
Right, Ms. Johnson, you just heard what your attorney told you. Are those things true?
Yes, ma'am.
So you did those things? Is that yes?
Yes, ma'am.
State satisfied with factual basis?
Yes.
The court finds that the plea is knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily made. A factual basis exists for it. The plea is accepted and entered of record.
It all began when Roby Johnson was stationed in Germany and noticed his coffee suddenly started tasting very bad. His wife, Melody, had been preparing the coffee each night, so he only needed to turn on the machine in the morning. According to the criminal report, Roby grew suspicious and began pretending to drink the coffee while secretly collecting video evidence. Multiple videos show test strips detecting dangerously high levels of chlorine in the water. He waited until returning to the U.S. before reporting it to police. Once he turned over the footage, authorities arrested Melody at their home. A search warrant noted the coffee pot had a strong smell of bleach. After reviewing the video, he realized that it was his wife who was poisoning the coffee.
It's the night I caught her on video. So let's test this water. It's gonna be purple. Boom.
Roby Johnson prepared his coffee every night, but sometime between evening and morning, Melody would tamper with the water. Growing suspicious, Roby installed a series of hidden cameras throughout their home. The footage captured multiple incidents. One camera showed Melody in the laundry room, transferring bleach from a large bottle into a smaller container. Another caught her glancing over her shoulder as she poured liquid into the coffee machine in the kitchen. In yet another video, she was seen reaching under the sink, grabbing a small bottle, pouring the contents into a cap, and then dumping it into the coffee maker.
About 50 minutes ago, while I was at work, I noticed her come over to the coffee maker and she did something. So I've got my tester. Let's see if it'll do anything. Look at that. Totally changed. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And then you can smell it. Like I can literally smell this. Fix this here. Yeah, I can literally smell this. You can see it sudsed up. Soapy. I guarantee it's slick too on the fingers. Yeah, slippery. Ugh, gross. Just gotta catch it in the States.
Because Roby Johnson was stationed overseas, he had to wait until he returned to the United States to report the suspected poisoning. Once back in the U.S., He set up hidden cameras disguised as fire alarms throughout the house. The footage captured Melody multiple times in different rooms, collecting bleach and pouring it into the coffee maker. With solid evidence now in hand, Roby was finally able to file a criminal report.
Tell by the video from there and from there that I have not messed with this coffee maker with this new strip. And then I'll use the same strip once I put it in the coffee maker. No big change. It stinks. Same strip. Big change. Today. I do mention about it at least 7-8 times. It's still very sudsy, bubbly.
Melody Feliciano Johnson was sentenced to 3 years of probation with no additional jail time, effectively allowing her to walk free. As part of her sentence, she must undergo a mental health evaluation and is prohibited from contacting her husband except through legal channels. Johnson pleaded guilty in April to 2 counts of poisoning food or drink, admitting she had poured bleach into her husband's coffee pot. She was previously indicted by a grand jury on more serious charges, including first-degree attempted murder, attempted aggravated assault, and poisoning food or drink. She had been held in custody after a judge deemed her a flight risk, citing her recent purchase of a home in the Philippines. Court documents also revealed that her husband believed she was trying to kill him to collect death benefits.
It indicates that on or about July 11th, that you intended to harm, is it Robbie Johnson, by adding or mingling poison or chemical compound to water, food, or drink. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.